We don't stop here on our way to Mexico.
Hey, it's David Levin from Pop Goes the Culture TV and Wise Brother Radio, and today I am talking to the great Chely Wright, country singer who has numerous hits and now is out with, after 6 years, is out with a new studio album called I Am the Rain. Chely, welcome aboard.
Thanks, David. Good to talk to you.
You too. So, Chely, 6 years with nothing going on. You've not exactly been sitting idle, though, have you?
Right. Like any parent in the world, you're busy and you're exhausted. And I have identical twin boys. They're 3 years old. So I have had my hands full for the past few years.
Wow. Congratulations. And
thank you.
Did you have time for music during that period?
You know, there are certain times when, I was pregnant also. I forgot to add that.
Yes, well,
so
that led to the kids, I guess.
Yeah, that always leads to that.
Yeah.
So, getting pregnant and then being pregnant took a lot of my time, but I always, thank God, found time to pick up the guitar and write here and there. Of course, for me, it always comes in spurts, and, different things can trigger spurts of writing, and certainly, my hormones were going crazy when I was pregnant, and I actually did write a lot of songs while I was pregnant. So, yay for hormones.
Yeah, listen, moodiness, there's nothing better for creativity than a little emotional moodiness, yes?
Exactly.
So this time around, though, you did something different. Now, you've been in the business years, and this time you went to Kickstarter to put your album together. What inspired you to go to Kickstarter instead of doing the usual, big time record company route?
Yeah, I mean, it's so this is I've had records out for I think 22 years. It's my 8th record, and for my past few records, Metropolitan Hotel, Lifted Off the Ground, and now this one, I'd always just paid for it myself and then licensed it to a company. And so that was, if you can own your own record and own your own licenses, it's a really great thing, as Dolly Parton has taught all of us.
Right.
And so when I started to see people crowdfunding, and I thought, well, that's cool. That's really great for them. I would never do it, but it's good for them. And then I was talking to my managers about, when I started to realize I think it's time to start making a new record. He said, my manager, Russell, said, what do you think about, crowdfunding? And to me, I said, oh, that just feels like begging for money. I don't need to do that, and I don't want to do it. And he laughed at me, and he said, it's not. He said, it's not that at all. He said, you're re-engaged with your fans, and it's essentially a pre-sale of your record. Yeah. And then the diehard fans who want to have a different experience, maybe something a little more intense, they can have a Skype session with you or an autographed handwritten lyric or what have you. And so we did some more talking, and I thought, you know what, that sounds like that could be for me. And I think our initial funding goal was like $175,000,
which is ambitious for Kickstarter. But fans should know it. Making music is expensive because you got to pay the musicians, and musicians don't just come in and work as a favor. Exactly.
They're union guys, and they have to be paid a certain amount, and the studio has to be the right studio, and so a lot goes into it. We ended up raising $250,000.
That's crazy.
So so here's what, when I started, David, when we started the campaign, in my mind, the single goal was of success for the campaign would be to get funded, right? Mm-hmm. But as it turned out, getting funded was kind of the least important part about the campaign. For me, the best part about it was re-engaging with the fans, talking to, because in the 45-day campaign, you're talking to your fans on the message board on Kickstarter.
Right. You're
hearing from them, and I was hearing from people that said, you came and played my little town in 1994, or I saw you with Tim McGraw at the Iowa State Fair, or you came to my Marine base in Iraq in 2003.
Wow.
And I've been a fan the whole time. And you really, because I came out of the closet, I became an openly gay woman in 2010, whereas I had always been a closeted person.
Yeah.
I came out of the closet in 2010, and I lost some fans. And doing the Kickstarter was really it made me aware of how many fans hadn't left me. And I think I needed that more than I knew I needed it.
Probably the ones who went away were like guys who had crushes on you, and now they had no chance. That's my
guess what? I hate to break it to them, but they have as much chance with me now as they had before. Zero.
Because you're married now. You're married. You're happy.
Well, I mean, some fans, yes, but I have to tell you, I get a kick out of these some of these fans who have stayed. These men that said, "Oh, I always had a crush on you before, and I still have a crush on you."
Well, you can still have a crush, right?
Yeah, I mean. Like they didn't really. I wasn't going to date them before.
No, well, exactly. But there's always that little bit of hope. I mean, it's like why people got mad when like the Beatles got married.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But it was just really gratifying to see how many fans had, and some of them have told me, I didn't think I knew or liked a gay person until you came out, and then I read your book and if you're happy, I'm happy, and make another record.
That's the most important part. I think when people like you come out, and it's sort of like, okay, then it's like Ellen or anybody like that. I think that the world has changed a lot since your career started. Just the fact that you can be married and have kids is huge.
Well, and it's why I wanted to come out in the very public way that I did. I could have tweeted, "Hey, y'all, I'm gay,"
right?
But I wanted to come out and tell the whole story, which is why I wrote my book, and why there was a documentary film made about my coming out, which it's called "Wish Me Away." And I wanted to make sure that I wanted to start a dialogue in country music where there was no dialogue about LGBT people, other than being, a joke on morning shows. People, that's the only thing anything gay was ever discussed.
Right.
And I wanted to use my public capital and have a discussion with fans who knew me and liked me and loved me and admired me for a long time. I wanted to make sure that they knew that a person that they liked is actually a gay person, and actually kind of cause them to ask themselves a few questions. And yes, I lost some fans, but dang it, I kept a lot of them too, and a lot of them now think a little bit differently about gay issues because I shared my secret with them.
It's been nearly 40 years since Elton John came out. At the top of his career, which in 1977, I guess, was just even more risky. And he took a big public hit at that time, but at the end of the day, the music and how fans felt about him sort of won the day. And here you are now, years later, and of course, in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, even just since you came out, the changes in freedom to marry and that aspect of it has got to be huge. I think a little bit about how that impacted you creatively. In other words, you came out, okay, your music was your music. It was you putting yourself into your creativity. Now that you've come out, is there a difference in the way you're capable of expressing? Is it the same? What's has anything changed?
Yeah, that's a good question, David. I mean, I feel like when I was making records in the closet, in many ways it was the only way that I felt authentic. Mm-hmm. Because, my job as a singer-songwriter, whether I wrote the song or not, if I'm interpreting someone else's song, my job is to become the person in that song and to convey a story or an emotion or try to get someone to feel what the song wants the person to feel. And in so many ways, that just felt like my most honest moment. Yeah. The moments when it got cluttered was when I was doing press about it or being interviewed. And the thing about country music fans is they're very loyal, and they don't care just about the music. They care about the person. Yeah. So the entire life of the artist that they like is all part of that's in play. And those were the ways in which I felt dishonest, because I was trying to avoid questions about my personal life.
Yeah.
So that, for me, I feel as genuine now as I did when I was in the closet when it comes to just the music. And so that surprised me. I wondered, is my music going to change? Will I write songs differently? I don't think I write songs differently at all. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's the same approach, and it's my job to step into the song and get someone to take them on a 4-minute journey. That's the job, and it's always been the job.
Is there a particular song that sort of hits closest to home on that level?
Off of the new record?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, there's a song called Mexico, and it's not about a specific truck stop waitress, mm-hmm. but it's about the thousands of truck stop waitresses I've seen at 2:30 in the morning while mm-hmm. I'm on the road. Mm-hmm. It's a composite of all of those people. And so in the song, I am the waitress. I'm singing from her vantage point. And I feel like, obviously everyone knows I've never waited tables. I've never, a lot of people who are musicians have. I just was lucky to, always be able to make music as a job. But when I go to a truck stop, I see myself, in that waitress. And, mm-hmm. I wonder, like, how did she get here? Or the guy that she's pouring the coffee for, what's he doing? Like, where's he going? Is he an over-the-road trucker, or is he headed to a funeral that he didn't think he'd be headed to? So, like, for me, just we're so similar. All of us human beings, we're all having the same experience. It's just that the details and the time and place is a little bit different, but we're all doing the same thing. And so, that's one of the songs I feel really connected to, because I feel like I know that person. I feel like I am that person.
Yeah. Chely, are you planning to hit the road with this new album?
I'm actually on the road now. I'm in Nashville. I actually live in New York City and have for 8 years, but I'm back in Nashville for the Americana Fest. Uh-huh. And so I've got 4 shows down here in Tennessee, and then I get back to New York, and I think I'm home for 2 days. Then I head off to a show in Maryland. And yeah, we're back out there. And I got to tell you, David, it's making records is fun, but touring is my favorite. It's so great to get to sit down with 300 fans and friends and sing songs that I've put my heart into, and that's the best part of my job.
That's amazing. Is it different now that you have boys? That you have your kids?
It is different. I've never toured with with a wife and kids back at home, and so going out for 3 weeks at a time isn't plausible for me. Number one, it's just too much of a burden on my wife, who has a career of her own. Yeah. But I don't think I can physically be away from those little guys for more than 4 or 5 days at a time. They're just so cute.
I know exactly what you mean. You know what helps a lot? Skype helps a lot.
Totally. I FaceTime with these guys every day, and it's they're 3 years old. They're just so delicious. I can't not just. I got to be home to bite their faces. They're so sweet. I literally sometimes worry that I'm actually going to take a bite out of them. They're so delicious.
It's those endorphins that the 3-year-olds create when you pick them up and they put their arms around you.
They're the best. And if anybody out there wants to see my boys, I post pictures. I know a lot of celebrities don't like to post pictures of their kids, but
my wife doesn't like it when I do. And I'm not a celebrity by any stretch.
I mean, I'm sure my children are going to need therapy by the time they're 17 because of the ways that I've pushed all these pictures of them out there. But they're so cute, and I can't stand to not share their cuteness. They're so adorable. So find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram if you want to see adorable babies.
Oh, is there a specific Twitter, or is it just Chely Wright? How do we find you?
It's Chely Wright, and I spell my name Chely, Wright. And you can just Google Chely Wright Twitter, Chely Wright Facebook, Chely Wright Instagram. You'll find me. That's
terrific. Chely, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you.
You are terrific, and I like country music. I'm not like right there in the middle of the fandom, but I know just how big a community the country music fan country music fan community is, and I know just how tight artists are with their fans, and I'm really glad to have gotten to meet you and talk to you today.
Thank you. It is. It's a special relationship between fans and artists in country music, and you know, it's. I just hope folks will come out and see me on the road. I'll sing songs from the new record, I Am the Rain, but I'll always be doing Single White Female, Shut Up and Drive, Jezebel, It Was, Bumper of My SUV, the songs that people know me by, and I want to see those fans come back out and give you a hug and spend some time with you.
The hug is the best part, I think.
It's the best. It's the best.
Thank you, Chely.
Thanks, David. Good to spend the morning with you.
You too.